Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I hope everyone is doing well. So unfortunately, I'm still a little bit short of my 1001 subscriber goal. If you can, please like and subscribe. That would really help the channel out. Uh, but I'm only doing this I guess like this limited dashboard preview because there was like a nice subscriber that was able to give me a super thanks. So I guess it's a compromise. I guess I'll keep doing like limited previews until I hit the goal, and then I'll start transitioning into like a full dashboard, just in case people mess with the channel. So AIYY, why I kind of like doing the dashboard more. I think if like visually, it's it's easier to see what's going on, both so you can kind of see like the sum of like the share price, and then you see like the breakdown, and then you can also kind of see it like a day by day change. So 196 million, and then on this date, 237, and then 240. Now bear in mind, this is a little slow because I'm back on like an older machine, and then hopefully, I guess like once I hit like the subscriber goal, then hopefully maybe I'll get like a payout and then see how much I can reinvest back into like a channel in the form of like maybe like a new laptop or something, or like maybe even better like a workstation. So then I can do this, you know, properly, and for example, like then I can kind of switch over to like the AMDY and show you kind of like the difference. As you can see, there's like a big difference between AMDY and AIYY in terms of net assets. And then over time, as this process gets a little bit smoother and like I guess with a more powerful machine, you can see a lot more more interesting things. And then you can also see like the change in time like over with the assets. Like for example, like the April 5th options will eventually roll off, and then you see kind of like a drop in like the net assets. And then see you can see like the when they start changing over like the options over like for example like now they're doing like the May cycle, and then they're also doing for AMD like the April 12th, like for like the start of the new week. And I like the dashboard a little bit more, just because you can see more details, and it's a little bit more obvious. And then let's see if I kind of like change to like the top, like kind of like like a group view. So for example, if I go back to like the start of the week, you can kind of see like an aggregate, like the change in like the different YieldMax products. As you can see, like MSTY is like the right now like the king, and then you can kind of see over time like how like the differences in like the composition of like the assets, like the treasuries, the options, and the cash. So I think like visually it's a little bit more interesting. And then also if I switch back to, let's say like for example, I want to compare like the nav and like the close prices, I can do that too. And then also I can kind of see whether people are overpaying or maybe potentially getting a good deal. So for example, on like the last date, you can kind of see like there's a small discount. It's not much, but it's better than nothing for AIYY. And then likewise, if I go to AMDY, I can see, oof, it took a like a nosedive in terms of like the actual NAV and the actual close. But it's kind of funny to see like people are still overpaying, uh, even though like the quality of like the performance of like the net assets. Um, you can kind of see this like over like the change in time. Like if you go kind of like back here all the way to March 1st, like people way overpaid, and then you can kind of see like the subsequent decline. So this is I think could be very helpful in the future. But again, I can't bring this to you. Like help me help you guys. So that's all I'm trying to say. So again, if you can like and subscribe, that would be greatly appreciated. Um, So let's get back into like the spreadsheets. So but this is kind of like for YieldMax, like you can kind of see like the dip in cash and then the subsequent um trying to like reestablish like the cash position. Like the treasuries went down a bit because like there's a like that's when they started declaring like the dividends, or I mean I should say like the distributions. So this is why you kind of see like this bit of a dip. Um, but then also the good thing about this, they started to shore up their treasuries like towards like the end of the week. So now you can see kind of like a juicer premium, like $4.61 over $3.43 from like the from last week for AIYY. And then let's take a look at AMDY. So as you can expect, like kind of like the slide over the course of the week, it's a combination of both like the price performance of like the underlying, and then also like the combination of like the distributions. So obviously they have to kind of pay out, get the cash somewhere, so they have to dip into the treasuries. And then although so far AMDY, they were able to reload for like the next week at a higher, well potentially um, at a higher, or I should say like a better price, and hopefully they can get as much of this $3.29 for AMDY. So that would be ideal. Uh, AMZY held on to most of its NAV pretty well, I would say, and then the cash went up from 43 to $1.10. Treasuries dipped a little bit, and then the option position it went from 71 cents down to only 7 cents debit. So hopefully you know there's room for improvement, although they're holding up better than most. And then let's take a look at APLY. So the cash position went up a little bit, and then also I guess like there's a corresponding dip in the treasury, so it's kind of like a wash. And then like the option positions like went from 31-cent credit to 57-cent credit, so an improvement in like more short premium available. So hopefully they can recuperate for this week. And then CONY, oof, it's a bit of a hit. So it's a combination of a few things like Bitcoin and like the rest of the crypto market. I noticed like this week it's a little bit of a sag, but thankfully, so allegedly Genesis Trading is supposedly done selling off like the GBTC for Bitcoin as a result of a pending lawsuit. So I'm hoping like well one like the victims will get back most of their crypto holdings. I think that will be a like a good potential win for like the just like the crypto markets in general, and then consequently CONY MSTY can kind of rebound. So cash went from 57 to 62 cents, so that's not too bad. The treasury just unfortunately took a bit of a hit, but even so, like the treasury is holding up better than most other ETFs. The option went from like a positive 1.17, and then now it's starting off to reload for the new week at a $1.29 credit. So hopefully they can capture most of that. Disney also took a bit of a hit, although I was kind of assuming that allegedly there was like uh, one of those shareholder uh, I guess like infiltration. People there was like a hedge fund group. They were trying to get more boards on like Disney seats, but they were able to keep like their current CEO, Bob Iger, and also to I guess they kind of fended it off. So I guess the market took that as a good sign. So cash went from 81 cents to 98 cents. Treasuries took a dip. So and then the options went from a positive 51-cent debit to a 24-cent credit. So hopefully again they can capture most of that. So Phoebe, I mean it's holding up fairly well. I would say like 43 cents, and actually increased the cash to 236. And then the treasuries went from 22.97 to 19.86. So again, probably distribution related. And then the options went from 85 cents, oof, down to like 4 cents to start the week. So hopefully, I'm not expecting great things for this week, but maybe the week after that. And then let's take a look at GOOY. Well, surprisingly, this is pretty funny. Like it actually just stayed flat. but internally, so a decrease in cash, and then a small uptick in treasuries, and then like the option position went from 98 cents debit to $1.11 debit. So hopefully GOOY can kind of snake its way back up. JP Morgan, yes, again a small decrease, not too bad. Cash one actually increased, and then the treasuries subsequent decrease uh, to to start the new week, and then let's see, so 6 cent credit all the way to a 20 cent 2 cent credit, so that it's not great, but at least it's something. So hopefully they can capture most of that for the new week. Let me slide down a little bit and let's take a look at Moderni. So again, like a dip in the share price. So let's see the cash. Well, we could see kind of like a big dip in the middle, and then they kind of recovered it back towards the end. So it's like a slight decrease for the overall week. And then treasuries went from 21.10 to 20.58. Not not the best thing in the world, but it's understandable. The options went from 68 cents to $1.45 credit, so that's good. So hopefully, again, they can capture more of this for this coming week. Microsoft, I mean, given everything that happened, still holding up fairly well. So cash went from 82 cents to $1.06, and treasuries went down a little bit, 21.87 to 21.03, and then the options again not that exciting. 14-cent credit down to 1 cent debit. So hopefully they can at least maintain performance or improve. Netflix went from 1860 to 1849, so it's a increase from 32 cents to 81 cents for the cash, and then the treasuries went down from 1829 to 1765. Apologies for any ambulance noises, and then options. Yeah, I mean, went from like a penny credit to a 4 cent debit. So again, not the most exciting thing in the world here. And then even Nvidia, lately, I would say like the techs have a hit maybe like a minor speed bump. I'm guessing because it's profit taking, or maybe allegedly there's like geopolitical risks and blah blah blah. I've noticed like the oil has been creeping back up, gold's creeping back up, so maybe there's some little bit of a risk off sentiment. I'm guessing. So again, when cash went down, and then treasuries also subsequently went down as well. And interestingly enough, like the credit increased for the to start the new week. So again, hopefully they can capture a good chunk of this and kind of replenish. Unfortunately for OARK, I think OARK and TSLY are kind of in the same boat. I guess like a good chunk of like ARK is basically Tesla, at least like 10%. Last time I checked, it could change. Because I guess like Kathy Ark's funds, like they're really positive on Tesla. So for better or for worse, like their fortune is kind of indirectly tied to Tesla as well, or at least a good chunk of it is. So well, hopefully they can kind of improve over time. So I guess this might be the next fund that'll probably get like the reverse stock split treatment. But I'm hoping for the best for this for anyone that's in here. So cash went from 25 cents to 40 cents, and treasury went from 1308 to 1256. So it's a bit of a mishmash there. Options went from a penny up to 77 cents. So again, hopefully they can capture most of it for this week. PP 1945 to 1885. So a little bit of momentum kind of got bashed a little bit. So cash went up 44 cents to 70 cents, and then you can see a course almost like a corresponding slide in the treasuries 1873 to 1813. Uh, let's see, look, the options went from 28-cent debit to down to 2-cent debit. So hopefully they can recover for this week. Square again took a bit of a hit in terms of share price, and then like the cash went from 40. Oof, that's not good. 46 cents down to 39-cent credit. That's not good for the cash. So they're gonna have to. but that's kind of weird. Like the treasuries went from 23.77 to 24.34. So I was kind of expecting them to kind of like take money out of treasuries, put it back into cash in case people are redeeming. So I'm guessing that's what that is too. So like the options were for like a 137 debit to 98-cent credit. So again, hopefully they can monetize like some of these short options and plug it back into cash, because that's kind of is definitely not something you want to see for your ETFs. So TSLY, again, well, it's it's just like bad news after bad news. But although Reuters like Elon kind of caught like some fake news there, so hopefully they can kind of reverse at least like kind of like the fake news. I mean, at this point, you don't even need fake news. Like Tesla is doing uh you know a good job in terms of like underperforming, so there's no need to kind of like heap like even more like bad news on top of bad news. I think they still have some work to do in terms of like you know rewarding shareholders. But anyway, the cash went from 26 cents to 36 cents, so that's some positive news. Treasuries unfortunately went down a little bit. And then the options, 19-cent debit to 78-cent credit. So again, hopefully they can monetize some of this to kind of shore up the share price. And then let's look at SHOMO. Although I'm kind of disappointed, SHOMO, like the energy markets look like they're starting to pick back up, but it doesn't look like they're fully capturing that effect, at least not yet. I'm hoping in futures earnings reports because I do remember a headline saying that uh, they're kind of disappointed in terms of like the performance. So I don't know. That's kind of weird. But anyway, cash went from 75 cents to 87 cents, and then the treasuries went from 1745 to 1748. So not much of a improvement there. And then the options went from 15-cent debit to 19-cent debit. So yeah, I guess like any little bit helps because I feel like SHOMO should really, well, maybe in the future they'll start outperforming. And then MSTY, again, as I mentioned earlier, I guess like the Bitcoin and like the rest of crypto hit a snag. But even still, like even with this big drop in terms of like the ETF share price, it's still holding up much better than everybody else in the YieldMax team. Uh, and in fact, like that's kind of crazy. The cash position like actually increased, so that's pretty impressive. And then unfortunately, the treasuries like got cut in half almost. But then the options went from 91 cents. I mean, that's crazy for like $5.70 credit to start the week. So even they capture half, that's would be amazing work. And then here we have ULTY. So, well, I wish I had better things to say because I actually was very fond of this fund, but you know, well, I mean, anyway, the cash went from $1.14, so it's kind of a crazy up and down. So so then you have like $13.99. Uh, and then that's interesting. They started to have like their treasury positions now too. So I wonder why it took so long to kind of break this out, or maybe it was there all along, but they were kind of like hiding it within like the cover call position. But anyway, I guess like this is good in terms of, like it'll make this similar to like the other YieldMax products. So I don't know if this was like a conscious change to kind of like maybe make this fund a little bit more conservative. I'm not sure. It's kind of weird to see it like kind of shift their stance like midstream. But anyway, I guess if it improves like the overall performance over time, then I guess that could be a good thing. So now that they have like $3.50 in terms of treasuries for like the fund, maybe that'll help balance out the volatility. I'm guessing that's what they're trying to do. And then the cover call position went from like I mean it's as you can see that's quite a dramatic change. So I mean, I guess we'll just have to keep an eye on this. This seems a little bit high, so I'll investigate further in the future. So thank you for watching. Again, if you can consider giving this a like and subscribe, I would greatly appreciate it. So thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day. I guess like if you're watching, it's WrestleMania weekend, so if you're watching that, enjoy. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.